Okay, so let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about something that's running in the background of basically the entire internet, a kind of hidden engine that's powered by our personal data. From the apps on your phone to the AI that's shaping our future, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real price of all those free services. You know that feeling, right? It's super weird. You're talking about, I don't know, getting a new kayak, and then boom, the very next time you're scrolling, there's an ad for one. Now, maybe it's not literally your phone's microphone listening in, but that feeling of being watched, it's not just in your head. It's actually a sign of a much, much bigger system that's working just under the surface of our everyday digital lives. This quote from Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff, man, it just nails it. What she's saying here is that our private experiences, every little thing we do online, our likes, our searches, our location, even how well we sleep, is being treated like a natural resource, like free raw material that's just there for the taking. But what? What are they turning it into, and why? To really get what's happening, we've got to put a name on it. This isn't just some random data collection. It's a very specific economic system that has taken over the digital world without most of us even noticing. And honestly, once you learn how to spot it, you'll start seeing it absolutely everywhere. And that name, which Zuboff came up with, is surveillance capitalism. It's a whole new kind of market. See, it's not just about using our data to sell us stuff anymore. In this system, the real product isn't what they're selling to us. The product is us. Or, to be more precise, the product is predictions about what we are going to do, what we're going to think, and what we're going to buy. And this is the key part, right? The whole system is designed to be invisible. That one-way mirror analogy is perfect. Tech companies get to observe everything we do, extracting value from our clicks and our conversations, but we can't see them doing it. We don't see what they're taking or how they're using it, and that's what makes it so powerful and so tough to challenge. It's meant to be hidden. Okay, so how does this whole machine actually work? It's not some kind of magic. It's a process, a machine with real distinct parts. Let's break it down, piece by piece. It really comes down to a simple three-step playbook. First, companies take what Zuboff calls behavioral surplus. That's all the extra data you're creating that they don't really need to make their service work better. Second, they pump all that raw data into their supercomputers and artificial intelligence systems to create prediction products. And third, they sell these predictions to other companies in what are essentially markets where they sell bets on what you and people like you will do in the future. So to keep this whole thing running, they need one crucial ingredient: your attention. They have to keep you on the platform, scrolling and clicking, to generate more data. And they're experts at it. You know all those notifications and likes? They're not random. They're designed to give you a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical in your brain, to keep you coming back. The algorithms are often built to show us shocking or extreme content because, well, it's hard to look away. The big takeaway here is that none of this is by accident. It's a business model built to encourage addictive behavior. Right, so this business model isn't just happening in some tech bubble. It's having huge, profound effects on us as people and on our society as a whole. Let's take a look at what the real costs are. Look, we all remember the promise of social media, right? Connecting with anyone, anywhere, spreading information in a flash, and it can still do that. But the very same design that's meant to keep us hooked, well, it has a really dark side. Those same channels are now perfect for spreading misinformation. They've been linked to serious mental health problems, driven by this endless social comparison, cyberbullying, and a constant flood of unrealistic standards for how we should look or live. And this is where it gets, well, kind of scary. Zuboff's point here is that when companies aren't just predicting what we'll do, but actively trying to shape what we do, it takes away our ability to choose for ourselves. It undermines our free will, our right to the future tense. If our choices are being subtly steered for someone else's profit, our ability to think critically and independently starts to weaken. And you just can't have a healthy democracy without that. And we really can't ignore the toll this is taking on our mental health anymore. Study after study is showing how these platforms can make things like anxiety and depression worse, leading to really distorted ideas of ourselves and, weirdly enough, making us feel more isolated than ever. We always hear just take a break or do a digital detox, but that kind of puts all the blame on us, doesn't it? There's a growing movement saying no. The ethical responsibility lies with the platforms that design these addictive systems and choose to amplify the most harmful content because it gets the most clicks. So just when we think we're starting to get a handle on the problems with social media, this new, unbelievably powerful technology comes along, generative AI, and it's basically poised to throw gasoline on this whole fire. This generative AI stuff is a classic double-edged sword.
It's got amazing creative potential, for sure, but it also turbocharges the surveillance economy. It can amplify existing biases and stereotypes on a massive scale. And at the same time, it makes it way cheaper and easier for bad actors to create convincing deepfakes, launch sophisticated cyber attacks, and pull off fraud. It's widening that gap between the people who benefit from this tech and those who get hurt by it.
So one of the big weak spots in these new AIs is something called prompt hacking. Think of it like being a clever lawyer who knows exactly how to phrase a question to get a witness to say something they're not supposed to. By using just the right words, malicious users can trick an AI into ignoring its own safety rules and spitting out all sorts of harmful content it was specifically built to avoid. Then there's another, even sneakier threat called data poisoning. An AI learns from all the data it's fed, so what happens if someone intentionally feeds it bad, corrupted, or biased data during its training? Well, you poison the well. The AI's results can become totally unreliable or even dangerous. It's like, how can you trust a building if you know the very foundation was deliberately sabotaged before it was even finished? Okay, so this all sounds pretty grim, I know. But it's not hopeless. We don't just have to accept this as our future. The sources are pretty clear that there are real, concrete steps we can take to push back and start building a digital world that's actually designed for humans, not for profit.
It really looks like a strategy on 3 different fronts. First up, government. We need smarter laws that go beyond just privacy and actually target the core business model of collecting and selling our data. Second, you've got the companies themselves. We have to demand real transparency and support new companies that are trying to build more ethical, human-centered technology. And third, and this is a big one, there's us. We can build awareness, get better at spotting misinformation, and make cautious choices about how we spend our time and energy online.
So at the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one question. The rules of our digital world, the very code of our future, is being written right now, often behind closed doors, by just a handful of massive companies. So the real question for all of us is who should be holding the pen?